Ty Lee. She might live in and fight for the Fire Nation, but she is an air nomad. One of the trickiest aspects of the 100 Years' War in Avatar is the utter success of the Fire Nation's attack against the Air Nomads. The show is called The Last Airbender, so the whole premise is that the Fire Nation wiped out every other member of the Air Nation. And yes, it does have to mean all of them, because unlike the other three nations, every air nomad can airbend. But there are just so many hurdles the Fire Nation would have to overcome to accomplish this. Not only do you have to scale the mountains to where they live, but then you have to deal with the monks themselves. Never mind the fact that the Air Nation is spread out across 4 temples, north, south, east, and west, that are located all over the world, meaning you would need 4 100% successful, coordinated assaults if you're gonna get all of them. But even then, it's not like everyone is always home. I mean, they're nomadic. There's just no way the Fire Nation got them all, because there's no way they were all there. Now, to be fair, this issue is actually addressed in the Avatar comic Relics, where we learn how Fire Lord Sozin used Air Notion relics to lure surviving air nomads into caves where they would then be captured and executed. A surprising but wildly effective tactic that works so well that by the time Sozin died, he believed the Avatar was literally the only airbender he had failed to capture.
Somehow the new Avatar eluded me.
But I disagree, and Ty Lee is the proof that others survived as well. Say, for example, even one air nomad, the odds of which are enormous, were in Ba Sing Se when the Fire Nation attacked. Well, guess what? 100 years later, Ba Sing Se has still resisted Fire Nation invasion. So say while they're trapped there, an air nomad settles down with some non-bending Earth Nation citizen and has some kids. And yeah, 3 to 4 generations later, maybe the airbending itself has not survived, but there could still be descendants of air nomads. And I hear you, sure, that's great for Ba Sing Se, but surely no air nomads survived in the Fire Nation, where Ty Lee is from. We'll get to that, but first let's talk about the insane similarities between Ty Lee and the air nomads and how she stands out against her Fire Nation cohorts. First is her appearance, like her brown hair, which might not seem like much of a big deal, except every other person in the Fire Nation has black hair. Not a huge difference, but it could point to non-Fire Nation ancestors. As could her eyes. Everyone else in the Fire Nation has copper, reddish, or yellow eyes, but Ty Lee has gray eyes, just like who? Aang, the last airbender. As is the fact that she is incredibly light on her feet. Ty Lee is also significantly more spiritual than any other member of the Fire Nation, except maybe Iroh, but he's kind of a special case unto himself. But spirituality of any kind is not a part of Fire Nation culture, so from whom would she even be learning all of this chakra, chi blocking aura stuff? It has to be her family, passed down from her air nomad ancestors, where spirituality is a huge part of their culture. But how could these ancestors have survived in the Fire Nation? The answer lies in where she goes to school. The Royal Fire Academy for Girls, an elite school for princesses, governor's daughters, and whatever high rank Ty Lee's family also had. If her ancestors sympathized with the air nomads, then they would have been the perfect cover, because if you're Sozin, the last people you'd suspect of hiding refugees are your own high ranking military officials who are hunting for those exact